Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the morning show with yours truly, Dex the Algo Capitalist. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. I know you're having a wonderful day if you are a subscriber to the Post Wave Attack reports because, well, let's just say gold and silver are looking quite interesting. Did you know that silver is up over $1.23 an ounce this morning? That's right. It broke above $31.31. Gold is up $16.80 an ounce, trading at $2,392.70. It hit 97.8, which is just a couple of dollars away from that 3,400 mark. And then you have oil up over $1.61 a barrel, trading at $75.68 a barrel. The stock indices are mixed. Dow up 31, S&P down 8, NASDAQ 100 down 10, Russell down 16. So it is kind of all over the place, but volatility is picking up. And this is due primarily today because the ECB cut their interest rates. That's right, they actually cut rates. They did not raise rates, they did not ignore rates, they cut the rates. If you live in the United States of America, you probably know best than most people around the world that money is power. And the global balance of power is rapidly shifting in favor of the ultra wealthy elite, those elected and unelected people who run the world. You see, if you have enough money, you can buy just about anything. And when you are in a position where you can buy just about anything, you wield an enormous amount of raw power and influence. Today, our world is completely and utterly dominated by those at the very top of the economic pyramid. Those in the top 1% of the top 1% are pretty much able to do whatever they want. And the rest of us, well, we're just pretty much powerless to stop them. Unfortunately, the gap between the ultra wealthy elite and the rest of us are, well, it just continues to get even wider. Right now, you could say it's a mammoth gulf, probably the size of the Grand Canyon. Last year, the total wealth of the world's millionaires reached a staggering $86.8 trillion. That's right, you heard me right. The world has never had so many rich people, and their investments and soaring stock markets have made them wealthier than ever recorded, according to a study published. The number of high net worth individuals, defined as people with liquid assets of at least $1 million, rose by 5.1% last year to 22.8 million, according to consulting firm Capgemini. Their total wealth reached $86.8 trillion in 2023, a 4.7% increase from the previous year, according to the annual World Wealth Report. Meanwhile, 5 billion people have gotten poorer since the start of the pandemic. So during the past 4 years, going back to 2020, the richest 5 men in the world have doubled their fortunes. During the same period, almost 5 billion people globally have become poorer. How much power do the hundreds of millions of people around the world that are living on less than $2 a day have compared to the billionaires in the Western world that are constantly making headlines? Well, the truth is that they run the world and the rest of us are just living in it. Here in the United States, the colossal gap between CEO pay and worker pay got even larger last year. Bosses have always made more money than workers. Let's just be clear about that. But the gap between CEOs and employees is growing. The median CEO in the S&P 500 was paid 196 times as much as the median employee in 2023, according to the analysis by the Equilar and the Associated Press. Now, that's up from a ratio of about 185 in 2022. It would be a good thing if the rich were getting richer as long as everyone else was getting richer as well, but instead that is not the case. And instead, poverty is literally exploding all around us. In 2020, there were approximately 140 homeless camps in Oakland, California. Not 140 homeless people, 140 homeless camps. Camps, plural, not singular. And since that time, the city has closed 537 homeless camps. 537, not 537 people, 537 homeless camps. But there are still approximately 1,500 homeless camps all over the city. Not 1,500 homeless people, no, 1,500 homeless camps. Oakland officials passed a policy in 2020 to regulate homeless encampments when there are about 140 camps. All right, so that was then when it was only about 140 camps. But the policy was created to prohibit encampments in specific areas of the city, including proximity to businesses, schools, playgrounds, traffic lanes, bike paths, housing, and playgrounds. Any encampments in those prohibited areas were supposed to be vacated, with the city offering shelter before evacuating the camp. But since then, the city has closed 537 homeless camps, with approximately 1,500 remaining, according to a city report. Your heart should feel compassion toward the law-abiding citizens that still live in Oakland. Conditions have become so precarious that one construction company actually refused to finish its pothole paving job because it got too dangerous for its workers. You heard me right. Frustrated Oakland residents are in the hole after a construction crew quit and refused to finish its pothole paving job because it got too dangerous for its workers, as other businesses flee the Bay Area over the same concerns. Residents in the Sabrante Park area in East Oakland said they weren't even notified after the third-party general contractor decided to abandon the project before repaving the streets, leaving large potholes and dangerous loose gravel all over the neighborhood since mid-May. If you still have a nice home and plenty of money, good for you. But you should understand that you were solidly in the minority at this point. Of course, our politicians care far more about the economic health of the elite than anyone else because it is the elite that fund their campaigns. So even though just about all the rest of us have seen our standard of living go way, way down, in recent years, there has been an all-out effort to prop up the stock market because that is where the elite have much of their wealth. Today, the wealthiest 10% of all Americans own 93% of all the stocks, and the poorest 50% of all Americans own just 1% of the stocks. The stock market wealth that the entire bottom half of the country controls is basically just a rounding error compared to the enormous holdings of the elite. And of course, there are many reasons for this. Unfortunately, for the elite, it appears that trouble may be brewing for the financial markets. The US stock market is shrinking, and investors are pulling their money out at a near record pace as storm clouds gather over the U.S. economy. That means the titans of Wall Street may have to contend with choppy water as they cruise toward their Nantucket getaways this year. Remember what we talked about yesterday. Investors only make money when prices increase. Traders make money when prices decrease as well as when prices increase. In fact, Bank of America says that their customers have been pulling large amounts of money out of stocks for 5 consecutive weeks. Bank of America analysts said that their clients have now been large net sellers of U.S. stocks for 5 weeks in a row. Just last week, they sold off $5.7 billion more in stocks than they purchased, the highest outflow since last July. Bank of America recorded the second largest sell off of tech stocks in their history last week. And while 1 week does not a trend make, it does stand in stark contrast with the Magnificent Seven fervor that ensnared Wall Street mere months ago. Whether it happens sooner or later, it is inevitable that America's financial idols will come crashing down at some point. But for most of the country, it feels like the economy has already crashed. Now, I gave you the other day what to watch for so that you can be given a heads up that the next shoe is about to drop, okay? Remember that from yesterday's show. Now, our cost of living crisis has become exceedingly painful. Our entire society is drowning in debt, and poverty and homelessness are exploding all around us. Just about the only people that are still doing really well are those that are at the very top of the food chain. When you hear that the economy is booming, those are the people they are talking about, not you or I. But just like all the rest of us, the elite will not be able to escape the period of tremendous global chaos that is ahead of us. Like I said, money can buy you just about anything, but it cannot purchase a free pass from the day of reckoning that is rapidly approaching. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the system works if you work the system. Bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So be careful to take whatever profits you can out of the market and give nothing back. And on that note, I'll see you guys this evening for the evening watch list report with yours truly. You don't want to miss it. We're watching closely to see how the markets close today because something big is brewing for Take Back Friday. And we'll get into it this evening. Smash the like button, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.